All right, this is your wake up call. It's time to buy a generator right now. Do not wait on this. So many, every year I get some big storm hits and I get DMs. Hey, brother, can you help me out? There's not a generator for sale within 300 miles of my house. I need to find one. I need a good deal. I'm like, that ship has sailed. I'm sorry, but you can't wait until after the fact. Everyone's run out and bought generators. You're not going to get a deal. This is the deal right now. Harbor Freight, this weekend only, starting today, going through Sunday, is when you're going to get this deal. This is 20% off. Well, 15% off for everybody, but your inside track, right? Because I've been telling you, get to inside track. It pays for itself. It's just math. There's no dark, secret thing behind it. It's not that deep. It's just math. 20% off if you're inside track, all right? That's going to pay for itself in one purchase. Plus, everyone gets 20% off except for inside track, who gets 25 if you're looking to get a generator cover or wheel kit. And I highly recommend the cover. And the wheel kit is iffy. We'll talk about why here in just a second. But let's talk about there's three types, basically three types of generators you want to be looking at, all right? The first type is what I prefer. It's what most RVers I know use. It's what every food truck I know uses. And that's the fully enclosed, super quiet inverter generator. Why is it the best? Fully enclosed, all right? So that breaks down that cuts down on how loud it is. It's got foam and it also breaks down the sound. Then it's also got the inverter generator that throttles it, controls it, makes it as quiet as possible. These are as quiet as it's going to get for an internal combustion generator. That's all there is to it. All right. And they also have all the best whiz-bang features, okay? Like remote start and, the eco modes and all the other kind of stuff. So let's take a look at what they have right now. They have everything from 11,500. This just came out. We talked about it at SEMA last year, just dropped this week. Then you got down to the 9,500. This is the one that I currently have that my family uses. Then we got the 5,000. That is just a beautiful generator. That's what called the RV standard right now. That's the go-to one. And that's a dual fuel generator. The one that just dropped, the 11.5, that's a tri-fuel, all right? The one I have, that's just gas. Then we go to the 3,500. That's the old school go-to RV generator. In fact, I got one of those. Harbor Freight sent me that one a while back. I gave it to a buddy of mine because he lives in his RV. I mean, and they travel. He and his wife, they are like the quintessential full-time RVers, just living the life. And he's like, this thing has saved our bacon so many times. It's the best thing that ever happened to us. So again, that's the old school standard. Then the 5,000 came out. And I honestly, that's, where you want to be now if you're in the RV world. You can go with the 11.5. It's just a good bit bigger. You do what's right for you. And then we got the small portable ones. We've got I guess they're all portable technically, 2,500 and the 2,000, all right? And again, the benefit from these is they're going to be as quiet as possible. That's really nice. Honestly, it's really nice. On top of that, they're running it all through an inverter, which means you're going to get that pure sine wave. You're not going to get that stepped style sine wave that, it's like hitting a hard wall. It's not good for your electronics, all right? You got your iPhone, your iPads, your 75-inch TV, all that kind of stuff. You're going to run that during your power outage? I know I want to. I want to sit there and play some video games with the kids or whatnot. Point is, you want an inverter generator for that kind of electronics. It is the best option. It's not going to get you the most watts per dollar. That's going to be an open frame. But then you're going to deal with the noise, non-inverter. But you make the call on what's good for you. And let's take a look at those, okay? Because they have some really good values here, all right? If you need all the juice, they've got the 13,000 tri-fuel open frame inverter or non-inverter generator. CO secure, so you don't have to worry about, CO, people making people not wake up in the morning, and I talk about that all the time. That's the other thing. Do not run these in your garage. Don't even run them just outside your house. I see people who they'll run the cord under the garage door and they'll have the garage door shut and it's right there under the eaves and they're like, well, it's outside the house. Your eaves are where your house breathes. So that CO is coming out, going straight up into the nostrils of your house. Bad, just bad, okay? So anyway, it starts at the 13,000. There's the 9,000, 6,500. They have the 4,375. That's an old standby, a good budget there. They have the 5,000 down here and the 1,800. So you got to pick which one works for you. Here's what I will say about these. They show them with the handles and with the wheels. They don't come with that. They come as a cube. All right. And the big ones are heavy. The light ones are heavy. All right. They're gas motor. So You got to buy the wheel kits for these separately. On the inverter, the fully enclosed, wheels are built in, handles built in, really nice. You got to buy the wheels separately. Now, granted, they're 25% off because you're inside track, all right? But just remember that, okay? If you need a ton of power and you're on a budget, this is your choice. If you've got the extra money, this is where you want to be. Now, the specialty is the hybrid in between, and that is these. Now, these are open frame inverter generators. They're not super quiet because they're not fully enclosed, but they do have the inverter tech to give you that smoother kind of transfer of power. This is special use case kind of stuff. You know, if you're there, you don't need me telling you about it, all right? Now, let's talk about the dual fuel, all right? This is the 5,000 I was talking about. This is a fantastic generator at $1,100. You're going to get 20% off. That's going to be what, like around $800. Anyway, you do the math on it. 5,000 dual fuel. Now remember, when they say 5,000, that's the max starting watt. When you start something up, when you first turn it on, it spikes in power. And if it's got like something physical that it's moving, that spike's going to be bigger. So like if you're running, if you're running a refrigerator, an AC unit, anything like that, there's going to be this surge right at the beginning as it gets it. Think of it as pushing a big rock. Once you get the rock moving, it doesn't take as much energy. But getting it moving, that's where it really takes it, right? So this is going to have 5,000 of starting running power, all right? Now, the actual running power, once it gets going, let me come down here and make sure I got my specs right on this. 3,900, that's the running power on it. Now, this is going to get you two 120 outlets. You're going to get one RV outlet. You're going to get a 12 volt outlet, a USB-C, and a USB-A. Let me come down here, show you the front panel on that. There you go. There's your RV amp, your regular house style amps, your other plugs over here. And you can connect these together, which means if you need more power, you can take two of these, and I'll show you the unit later. You buy the special unit that sits between it, and it's not that much money, honestly. And it takes two of them and turns it into one. Really cool setup, all right? Which then allows you like, hey, I want the bigger one, but I can only afford one now, but then I can add one later. Or I could just buy them both now. And then if I need to go camping for the weekend, I just have to take one. I don't have to take them both. But for home, then I can have both of them running. A lot of flexibility. It's a good option. You need to think about it, okay? But that said, this is a great solid generator. One thing to consider though, and it even says it right here on the face. Let me pull it up again. Right down here, it talks about the fact that it's 5,000 max starting watt, 3,900 running watt. But if you're running on propane, that number drops to 3,600. Gas is going to get you the most power, and then propane, and then natural gas. I think natural gas is under propane. They're going to have the specs on it, okay? Just understand, if you're going with anything other than gas, you're going to lose a little bit of juice. That's just the nature of the fuel being used. There's no way to get around that. All right, so highly recommend this generator. This is a fantastic generator. It's got electric start, which I hate to say, it is really nice. It's a quality of life kind of thing. I know, like, I don't need electric. No, nobody needs electric start, except maybe somebody who's like handicapped, they're older, they have gripping issues. You know, there's all sorts of people who, you know, are in that special use case. But for the average person, we don't need it. But it's a nice quality of life. And honestly, the remote start, I've talked bad about remote start. I did. I love it. I love being able to pull up the key. Yep. Click. Oh, there it goes. It's nice. It's just nice. I feel guilty. But it's true. All right. Now, the two new tri-fuels. All right. Now, the other one came out last year. And the one that just came out, the super enclosed, fully enclosed, super quiet, the whiz bang, top of the line. All right. So you can get the 1,300 tri-fuel for $1,300. And that's before the sale, all right? I'm not telling you sale prices. You're going to knock 20% off of that. So that's going to knock $2,600. Not $260. See, that's why I don't do the math. I let you do the math. $260. It's going to knock $260 off of that. All right, taking it down to almost $1,000. That's insane. Again, that's going to be a tri-fuel. In fact, here, let me show you the tri-fuel real quick, all right? So we come in here, let me show you the panel, because the panel is what really matters, right? That's what we all want to see here. Look at that. You got a 42 amp max, 240 volt, right there on the panel, all right? Then you got a 30 amp, 240 volt, 120 or 240 on both of these. You can run 120 or 240. All right, then you come over here and you got your other plugs and whatnot, and you got your other controls. And then you got your choice here between natural gas, gasoline, and propane, right? And there's the numbers right there. You're looking at $13,000 for gas, $12,000 for propane, and $1,000 for natural gas, right? And you got your electric start and everything else, and you can see there in the full generator. Let me go to the full pic. Come on, we can do it. There we go. You got your battery down here for your electric start, okay? And then you basically got a Predator engine in there, and then you got your electrical converter and stuff up there, and you got your gas tank up top. And again, you got to buy the wheel kit and the handle kit separately on this one. You're coming in at just over $1,000. Now the next one, this is the one that just came out, and when I showed it, it wasn't in stores yet, and you can see right there it says in stock at Bozeman. And if it's at Bozeman, it's probably at most places, okay? Because Bozeman's, I mean, for Montana, it's a fairly decent-sized town, but for everyone else, compared to most places in the U.S., it's out in the boonies. So if Bozeman has it, your store probably does if they haven't already sold out, because this has already started, all right? Started today. $2,200, all right? I will actually pull up the calculator, because I should be able to do this in my head, but I know I'll screw it up. So we're looking at $2,200, which means the actual price on this with the discount, $1,760. That's an insane price for a tri-fuel electric start. I think it even has a remote start. Yeah, it's got remote start. CO secure, fully enclosed, inverter generator with wheel kits. You can run your whole house on it. You can run your RV and your buddy's RV on it. You are your own small power plant. You know, OSHA's going to probably come up and make you sign off on, security checklists and stuff running this thing. You could power the neighborhood if you wanted. All right, maybe an exaggeration, but I know I could power my house and my neighbor's house. I could definitely do that in like a really bad storm. I could pull that off. And you got a choice of EPA or CARB. I saw lots of people when he announced this. They're like, well, it's not CARB certified. You got your choice right there, EPA or CARB. Do people not know how to read? Has the education system gotten that bad? And the other thing was people were like, well, it's not 50 amp. I know if it's not 50, it's not 50. It's right there. Right there. That does say 50. That does I mean, I don't have my glass. 50, right? Right? I'm right about that, right? Okay. 120 volt, 240 at 50 amp. Right there on the face, all right? There's your tri-fuel selector. You got your electric start. You can do your remote start. And you look at this. That red and that white. Again, you can hook two of these together for over 20,000 watts of power. Again, you could start your own substation, all right? I'm going to power the neighborhood. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I know I'm kind of geeking out about it, but here's the deal. Here's what's going on. People this time of year, they always do it. They always forget, and it's back in mind, like, I'm going to get one. It's a big purchase. I get it. It's a big purchase, even for people who got some money, dropping, that kind of cash on a generator that you're not going to use that often. It's a big decision to make, and I totally understand that, all right? But don't wait, okay? Remember this, Harbor Freight doesn't pay me, all right? They've never paid me a cent. Do they send me free tools? Yeah, but so does everyone else. So does DeWalt and Craftsman. We just showed a bunch of DeWalt. I got Milwaukee packouts over here. Who thought Milwaukee would send me stuff? I got Milwaukee packouts that they've sent. Everyone sends me stuff, all right, at this point, except for Makita and Bosch, because I don't know why. Anyway, I guess I'm not European enough, which is odd because I was born in Heidelberg. You just hate me. Anyway, point is, I'm off in the weeds. Point is that this is something you need when you need it. All right. Like in tools, we call it the get out of jail free card. All right. You don't need it until it's too late. All right. If you wait, you're going to pay full price. Some people are going to price gouge, and you're going to be lucky if you get one at all. All right. Tons of people here are going to comment. They're like, I was totally in that situation and I finally bought one. You got to do it. You're going to see it in the comments. I'm telling you right now, I get emails all the time, every year, and I'm tired of it. Not tired of it. I just feel bad. All right. Just do it now. All right. And get this. And you know how I feel about credit. I'm not a huge fan. I don't push credit. I have credit cards. All right. I think I've got at least one of I have one credit card in my wallet. I got a couple bank cards. I've got my Cash App card, because I always carry my Cash App card. But I have one credit card, and we pay it off every month. This might be the time to get the Harbor Freight credit card because it's the only coupon that stacks. You're going to get a bonus. I think it's 10%. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 10%. So you're going to take that 20%. It's not going to be 30% because math doesn't work like that. I know it's weird. They're going to take that 20% off, and then from there, they're going to apply 10% off of that. All right? That's how that works. So it's going to come out to be like 27.853 repeating. Anyway, this and then turn around and pay it off before any kind of payments or interest accrues. Just pay it off. All right, I know, just pay it off, right? But I'm just saying that's a way you can save even more money on this. Now, before you go, because I know you're about to run over to the store, some things you want to consider. This is important. Stable. There's lots of types of fuel stabilizer. Everyone I know up here uses Stable. I've never actually known anybody who doesn't use Stable. I don't know who uses the other stuff. It's required by law. And by law, I mean it's in the warranty. Almost every single generator I've tested, and at this point it's quite a few, says somewhere in the warranty, must always use a fuel stabilizer. And if something happens, you send it in, there's going to be fuel in that system. You're not going to get it all dry. And they're going to sample the furthest reaches of that and see if there's fuel stabilizer. And if there isn't, they're going to be like, screw you. It's $8. It's a good thing to have because honestly, you don't use it that often. All right. I mean, yeah, you got a food truck. Maybe you do. All right. But for most people, get the fuel stabilizer. It's required by warranty. It's a smart thing to do. It's a $2,000 piece of equipment. Get the damn fuel stabilizer. All right. Then the heavy duty wheel kits. There's an 8-inch and this is the 10-inch. The 10-inch wheel kit is $60. You're going to save 25% off of that. They've got lots of cords. All right. Every cord you need to set up to create a setup for power, they're going to have. And look, they're even on sale right now. So make sure you grab the cords you need. Don't spend $2,000 on a really nice generator and then use super discount cheapy cords that have been laying out for 20 years. Get good solid cords. Remember, the further you run, the higher gauge and the better quality of a cord that you need. All right. Next up, this is what I was talking about. This is the parallel kit. Now this is a 50. There's also a 30 amp. All right. Basically allows you to take two generators, plug it in, and then you plug everything you're going to use into one of these two plugs. Then you can plug this directly into your house, your RV, or split it off however you want. This lets you run two generators as one. Now here's the deal. This is the secret no one talks about. They don't have to be the same generator. Almost every brand of generator has plugs for this. They don't have to be the same brand. They don't have to be the same power level. They don't have to be marginally related. Okay, just if they have those plugs, they should work with this. Here's the caveat. If I've got a 3,000 watt generator and a 5,000 watt generator, I plug it in, it doesn't become two 4,000s. It becomes two 3,000s. It caps it at the lowest of the two. All right, so just be aware of that. But other than that, this is the secret sauce right here. I highly recommend it. You know what's great? If you've got an RV, buy two of the smaller generators. It's easier to pick them up and put them out rather than one giant one. You're like, I'm going to get a hernia every time I move this. Get two smaller ones. And they're easier to store. Now you can store them, back to back rather than one giant cube that's going to take up the middle of your living room or something. Make everything smell like gas. A lot of good reasons to have this, all right? Next thing I want to talk about, get a cover. Just take care of it. It's $18. That's the big cover. There's a smaller cover. It's cheaper than that. Get the damn cover. It's 25% off. All right, now there's a smaller cover, $14.99. There you go. That's your deals. Do not email me later this year after the giant storm and you can't buy a generator within 500 miles. All right, and here's what I'm going to say. Because a lot of people are like, well, you're all about those all-electric ones. It's not a one-and-done solution. All right? I have electric power stations with solar, and I have generators. Ask anybody who's been in a hurricane what happens. Hurricane hits. During the hurricane, they lose power. They run their generator. All right? The hurricane sits on them for a couple days. That generator runs. Now you're out of gas, and you got no power. Guess what else happens? Your gas station's out of power. Everyone's out of power, and everyone's out of gas. You can't get gas. I know because I've tracked the storms. I track what happens, and people email me every time going, well, I can't get gas for my generator. What do I do? I'm like, After every hurricane, what happens? The sun comes out and the weather's beautiful for like a week. Be a really nice time to have a solar generator system set up. It's not a one and done solution. They work together. Okay, this is what, if you want real independence, real security, if you want to be off grid, you got to have both. All right, and I try for a semi off grid. Well, I'm grid most of the time, but if the grid goes down, I don't even notice most of the time. All right. Anyway, on sale right now this weekend. We don't make any money from these videos from Hard Freight. They don't pay us. They don't even pay affiliate dollars. All right. If I wanted to be making an affiliate, I'd be telling you to buy Champion or one of the other ones. All right. So how about a thumbs up if you like what we're doing? Maybe even consider subscribing. That'd be nice. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.